What's up, dude? How's it going?
What's up, man? How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just I don't know, chilling out, preparing myself for. We have people another 5 minutes or so. They trickle in through the first 10 minutes. That's how I went this morning too.
All right. How's work been, dude?
How are you doing?
I'm still here.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's better than not being still here.
It's debatable, but I have sticks. So I'm happy.
Exactly. At least you have some sticks, right? Are you at just like a playground?
I'm at a storage facility.
Okay. Okay.
They're probably gonna kick me out eventually, but I just got my car set up really nice. I just got a new SUV.
Oh, cool.
So I have like my sleeping bag. I have everything set up in the back seat, so I can live in the back of my car now. It's gangster.
Excellent. Hey,
Yeah, man.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You can be pretty self-sufficient living out of a car.
Before I met you, you didn't know this. I had a camper van that I just purchased before I met you. But it was a rust bucket and I had to sell it. But I've been planning on living in a car even when I was with my wife.
Oh, okay.
So I'm chilling.
I suppose that's good, right?
Yeah, it still worked out just the same. Like I was gonna live in a car no matter what. So that's
All
cool,
right.
man.
Well, it was your destiny.
Right?
You just didn't realize sometimes certain things are your destiny, and you know they're your destiny. You just don't realize how you're going to achieve said destiny.
That's right. I thought.
What's that?
I was gonna say I thought I was gonna go to LA to hang out with this chick, but now I have someone trying to get me to go to California to help with this people attacking Asians problem.
Ah.
That's what I do for Jews down here. Is I work in like high risk environments and I do private security for those communities.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can do that over there.
Yeah.
Crazy shit, man.
Yep. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes your destiny is not what you necessarily expect.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Cool, man. Cool.
How's your work been? I know you had like a busy like your people were out.
Last week was really, really busy. And then I'm sorry, that wasn't this past week that just went by. That was 2 weeks ago. And then this past week was also really, really busy. We're kicking things into a little bit of a higher gear right now. So it's getting crazy, but we're hiring we're putting on an ad for another person on Monday, which is big. We need some people. Yeah, we need some people to start doing some of the more menial stuff for the busy season. This past year, because of Corona, they haven't had the need for like a dishwasher. So we all have to wash the dishes and we don't fucking want it. Like,
yeah,
it's one thing to have to go clean one dish or something, but like having to do all our stainless steel pans, we operate out of stainless steel third pans and like half pans for certain things. We have all the stuff that like at the end of the night none of us want to clean, but then first thing in the morning, if you got all these pans stacked up, they stink.
And the shit gets stuck inside the quarter pans and shit, you're fucked.
Right, and it takes forever to clean them. So yeah, we need like a dishwasher and a couple other positions now that we can actually afford to keep someone doing them rather than just have everything happening from the four of us. Which
I'm gonna go drive over there and be your dishwasher.
Yeah. Hey, man, how fast can you be here? You probably be here by Wednesday.
32 hours. It'll take me 32 hours to drive to California. I've already done the fucking math, bro.
Yeah, you could be here, with a couple of cat naps by Wednesday, easy. Yeah. I'll hold the position for you till then.
All right, hell yeah, man.
Don't you guys worry, I got a dishwasher.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to to things being a little bit busier, and we do catering. And I kind of like doing that better than working like in the facility. I mean, like we do all of our cooking there, and then we head to whatever the location is for the full service catering. And that's a really quick interaction. Like the interaction with, we feed a few hundred people in like an hour or less than an hour, easy. So I kind of like doing that.
Pretty dope. You probably get to see some pretty cool venues as well.
Yeah, a lot of wineries out here. A lot of people will do like a wedding reception or whatever at a winery that won't have food, and they'll have us cater.
Nice.
That's typically the full service and stuff like that. Or like, so right now we don't know who we're all booked up in March, but we don't really know who some of these events are because the corona, you know what I mean? Like some of them we've been doing a lot of company events and things like that where people they have an entire facility worth of people that need to be fed, but those motherfuckers all want individual meals. Like they want us to box up, like this one's for Ted, this one's for Billy, and Susie gets this one, and like, oh, Susie has a gluten intolerance. Like you just,
that's a pain.
Susie, you dirty bitch. Or like what, there's all kinds of little stuff that kind of winds up getting wormed in there on those big ones. It's much better to just have a big like buffet style kind of thing. But anyway,
that makes sense.
I don't know. Maybe give people another minute or two and then we'll get started. This morning I went through kind of the first. I made a big block. I don't think any of you guys have seen it. Well, Steve saw some of it last week and then saw that stuff again this morning, and then we got some other stuff. So I created a big block of kind of basic single stick combinations, starting with kind of 1-2 combinations, like the stuff that I made those short videos for you and for that guy Brenton. Basically, starting with things like cutting the X on the vertical line, cutting the X on the rising line, and then basic combinations like throwing the forehand diagonal to backhand horizontal combination, and then the forehand diagonal to thrust, backhand diagonal to thrust. Those like I said, I made those videos about that earlier the week, so you can refer back to those. But I'll probably, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run us right into the Tri-V stuff, and then just go from there. We're just gonna do 3 strike combinations when maybe whenever Sherlyn reappears.
I told you what I thought Tri-V was the first time I heard it. I was at I don't know which like seminar it was, but it was like, PTK seminar I was invited to. Actually, it might have been one where Green Mountain Dog might have been there also. I think he came down, back to Brooklyn or something, whatever. So it's like, like at the seminars, they sell like T-shirts and sticks. So I'm like, what is this, like Filipino fucking vitamins they're trying to sell now? I swear to God, I'm not even kidding.
It does kind of, right? It does kind of sound like something. God,
I thought that's what it was.
Like something like Leo would be pitching on.
Like back in the day, like doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like everyone was like, "Oh, Steve, you gotta have the acai juice, the berries, they make you like a man." Like, I'm like, I don't need the apple, I don't need the acai juice. I'm good. I'm right.
Bowls, yeah.
We just like to use Vicks, actually.
What's that?
We just like to use Vicks. Vicks Vapor Rub.
That's the Filipino vitamin.
Vicks is the Filipino vitamin.
Instead of Tri-V, that's the Filipino vitamin.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's one of the 3 V's. I don't know what the other 2 are, but one of them is Vicks.
Oh, I got
Vodka.
Triple Vicks. Vicks, Vaseline, and Viagra. Try V. That's Matt's good night.
Oh, God.
Packing. That's what he carries in his backpack.
Oh,
You don't want to mix up the Vicks and the Vaseline in that situation. You know.
Yeah. Oh man.
things will get a little spicy.
On fire.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh my goodness.
Ryan supposedly was gonna come. He told me like an hour or two ago that he was. So I was trying to give him a minute, but we'll see.
Yeah, the morning class, it's hard. I don't know why. For some reason, when I log in with my phone, like it just constantly loses connection, even though I have bars. I don't know.
Might be
And I'm
that
just
park or
standing-
whatever.
I'm standing in like 8 inches of snow, like
Yeah, it might have been that park that you're in or something. Maybe there's something in that area that's just no good.
yeah, it's like,
You know,
who knows?
perhaps something is blocking the signal. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like, the Russian sleepers,
It could be, dude. I had an incident with a Russian guy this week. It was a Uber driver. We do Uber Eats, and Uber Eats drivers come in a variety of skill sets. And this one fucking dude this week, the customer called and was like, "Hey, I ordered food from you guys through Uber. I really want this barbecue sauce." So we were like, "All right, dude, no problem. We'll tell your driver to make sure you get some, because we don't do any of that stuff. Like, you get your own shit. Like, we're not waiters, basically. Like, your barbecue sauce is out there, your utensils, whatever." I told the guy, I said, "Hey man, they want this and this." And if you were like, draw a Russian guy, you'd have drawn this dude. Adidas tracksuit, that the shitty kind of like high and tight sort of haircut, a little bit of a gut, those dead eyes, was kind of like this. And so I give him the
What was he
food.
wearing?
He walks up to the table like this. He looks at it and goes, and walks out the door. No utensils, no barbecue sauce, no nothing. So I got pissed. I was really mad about it. I had to call the customer and be like, "Hey man, this guy, there's nothing I can do about it. Like, I can't tackle him or whatever." So the customer was mad at me. Well, the motherfucker came back because he must have just been the active guy in the area, and we are really, really busy. And so I wouldn't give him his food. I wouldn't give him the next bag until he went and got sauce. And he got mad. Like, he didn't like it. I was like,
Oh man, I wouldn't want
man.
that sauce after that.
You can't have my food unless you go get the sauce. I told him. He got all angry at me. And I was
Oh
like,
man,
"Dude,
I wouldn't want that shit. Who knows the fuck he did?
hey, I'm not eating it." My customer wants
Hey,
sauce.
thanks for the shout out in your interview. Nick and I whipping up special sauce together.
Hey, that was a weird one, man. That was a weird one. That guy Ace is a good guy, kinda. But
Where do you know him from?
just the internet. The internet's a weird place, man. All right, I don't think anybody else is showing up. Fuck them. I'm not sitting around any
It
longer.
was a good interview though. I liked it.
It was fun. It was cool. I enjoyed getting to kind of just ramble on stream of consciousness about martial arts stuff for a while. All right, so we're gonna jump straight into the Tri-V stuff. So Tri-V is a block of material from Kitty Tertia. There are a multitude of combinations. I'm not sure the total number, but I personally use 2 of them kind of frequently and interchangeably. So the first one starts with the concept that Lonely Dog worked earlier in the week, which is working on one side of the X. Sorry, I have my window open. Chilly.
You're cold? What the hell?
Working one side of the, huh?
Used to be from Boston. You're cold?
I did used to be. I'm not anymore, man. I'm from California. These people.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
What is it, like 70
all right.
degrees out there?
Yeah, it's like high 50s probably. Anyway,
Sure.
fuck you. So combination is forehand diagonal, and then it's a rising backhand diagonal on that same line. So I describe this as like an unsheathing motion. So you cut down and you cut back up. Cut down, cut back up. Cut down, cut back up. There is like a, what do you call it? Sort of a variation on this that I'll discuss in a minute, but for the purposes of right now, you cut down and then turn your hand over, cut back up. Once you get to the top of that arc, cut back around your head on the number 2 angle. So it's forehand, backhand rising, backhand slash. Forehand, backhand, backhand, right? Forehand, backhand, backhand. Forehand, backhand, backhand, right? Now, where the variation comes in is on the rising backhand strike, you have 2 options. You can throw it with your knuckles aligned as if you're cutting with a sword, or you can throw it with your knuckles aligned as if you're striking with the spine of the sword. And there's sort of two different goals in mind there. If you're cutting like this with a blade out, right, you're aiming for a strike probably. You're trying to hit the arm, the hand, maybe you're trying to hit the leg, depending on the distance to your opponent, you might be trying to strike them in the leg. So in that case, you want to be trying to whip your hand kind of linear along that plane as hard as you can. If you're striking with the spine of the sword or the back edge of the stick, instead of it being a power shot to the hand, now we're doing a flick like this at the top, right? So either strike is going to have to convert around your head. With this one, we're catching the back edge of our weapon along the back edge of your opponent's weapon. So you're thinking if your opponent is standing like this and you're standing like this. So as he's coming in with his number 1 or caveman, you'd need to step, you need to move a little bit for this to work, but you're catching his weapon with yours and chucking it aside. So it would be like this. And then you come around and score to the head. So you should essentially throw his weapon offline. He's coming in like this, and you come in from behind and throw it away. This is way easier to explain if I have people directly in front of me, because I'd say, swing at number 1, and I'd step out and go boom, boom. Here you go. That's how it works. So here, we're cutting down, cut back up, and cut to the head, right? Cut down, cut to the head. Cut down, cut to the head. Or, so I kind of think of it, the 2 ways of doing this is 2 different attitudes. So the one where I'm throwing my opponent's weapon away, I'm like angling off. So if I'm lined up with him here, right, I'm cutting down and then moving out to the left, throwing his weapon away. So I've cast his sword over to here, and then I'm coming around and striking him to the head and traveling out along that angle, right? And I can leave. The other idea is that I'm coming in with powerful strikes and I'm actually running the guy straight down. So instead of angling off this way, my footwork is going to be straight in, right? So it will be like right at the guy, right? So cut, cut, cut. So kind of practice it both ways, where you have an aggressive forward rush and then you have an angled attack. I guess you could do it to the other side, but you want to run it towards your opponent's back, right? So if you're in a matched lead situation where you both have your weapon in your right, you want to run this towards your left, All right, so your first strike draws their strike, whatever, as you start to move. So you go from your typical stance, or maybe you're in false lead already and you just go, I don't know, but one way or the other, you come from here, cut, right? Cut. And as you make contact with your opponent's stick, so in the way that this would be defeated would be as if your opponent throws the reverse too, because that would then ride in and merge right through your line and hit you. So you kind of want to make sure you're doing this when he's doing this. Question.
Are you doing one step, one hit?
I don't have space in here, so I'm kind of just shuffling around. That would depend on the distance that your opponent is away. So we might be in this like kind of just outside of weapon range, and my first strike might be stationary, and then I might go 1-2 with my steps and my strikes combined. I might run it as a running maneuver where my first strike does have a step. It totally is going to depend on your distance to your enemy. So if I'm going straight at them, yeah, it's usually going to be like 1, 2, 3. But that angled combo, I'm doing it depending on how close I am to the other guy, basically. But yeah, so that's the forehand side. Now we've got the backhand side of the same idea, right? So this is one. These tri-V combinations have a bunch of different, like they call them open top and closed top combinations. These two are two closed top combinations, I think. So we did the forehand, right? Forehand, backhand, backhand. Blow your mind here. This one's backhand, forehand, forehand. Oh, I hit my thing there. So cut backhand, forehand, forehand. So we go, this can be utilized also, we talked about this a little bit this morning, just from throwing a bolo strike to forehand. So this strike could be attacking your opponent's hand or stick. These rising strikes are really difficult to block. Someone this morning was like, well, how do you block those? And we had 3 full dog brothers there. We were like, you kind of can't. There's not really a block for this. Like there just isn't really one. You just don't be there. So when you throw this strike, if you hit, you're probably going to hit pretty solid. It's not an easy thing to stop. So, all right, backhand, bolo strike around the head for a reverse number 1. Backhand, bolo strike number 1. Backhand, uppercut, cut 1, cut 2. So some of the concepts that are sort of important that you're working with here. Number 1 is that your strikes are following the same line, but they're coming one after another. So typically people are expecting 1, 2 kind of motions, especially once you follow through. They're like, oh, he's going to come to here and come through. Instead, you're coming back up the same line, right? Once you do that, then you're coming around the head and you're returning from that angle that they would have expected before, right? So from here, you're cutting low and then coming across, right? Or we come from here, coming there and coming across. All right. So now that we've got that set of motions down, we're going to work through some other, I have a whole other book side here filled with different 3-strike combinations. But that one was in my first class as well. The Tri-V material. There's a bunch more of those that exist, but those are the sort of basic ones. So with those strikes, we were working with kind of a circular plane, but it was circular on the diagonal. There's 2 other circular planes for what you'd call like a redondo or whatever, but I call them circular strikes. There's the vertical plane, which to one side of you is here, right? And then the other side is here. Notice it's not coming around your head and coming here. That's like a reverse number 2. We're staying right on that side. Right. So here and here. And then the other plane is the horizontal plane. So coming in here. This would have to go around the head, right? Backhand. So this sort of thing you find in the double stick kind of combinations when you attack like a Frondo 3, that sort of thing. I mean, you do find it in single stick a bit. Like you can get out there and hit a guy like that. But for the sake of these combinations, it's going to be used a little bit differently. So the first one, all right, first we'll do the LeMayko combination. So if you've seen enough Dog Brothers material, you've probably run into this LeMayko combination at some point or another. Basically, you're throwing 3 different kinds of strikes from each side of the body. So the first one is a horizontal jab, right? So you're throwing a horizontal jab, and then you're throwing a vertical strike on the round plane, and then you're throwing a diagonal. So it's horizontal, vertical, diagonal, jab, redondo, slash, right? Jab, redondo, slash. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now that I'm moving, Steve was right. Now that I'm moving around, I'm hot. Now that I'm moving around, I'm kind of hot.
Look at those muscles.
So, right. Jab, redondo, slash. Jab, redondo, slash. Jab. So this can be used either as like a standalone combination, or it can be used as a response to people trying to hit you in the leg, which I'll talk about that in a minute. That's you need to use the Illustrisimo cross step for that to work. But jab, redondo, slash. If we were doing this in person, I have a double stick versus single stick drill that teaches you this, but it's worthless here. It doesn't, you lose all the value of it if you're not actually there. So jab, redondo, slash, right? Now, again, kind of fucking shocker here. On the back end, same thing. So now we're jab, redondo, slash. Jab, redondo, slash. Jab, redondo, slash. Once you get that, chain them together. It's the same thing from both sides, right? Jab, redondo, slash, jab, redondo, slash. Right? Chop, 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 chop. Cool. So the way this becomes useful for blocking leg shots is there's not really a good way to block to the legs in Kali. Krabi Krabong has some kind of strong blocking motions that work to the legs, but especially if you only have a single weapon, it leaves you super uncovered for the rest of your body. So most people would kind of agree, just move your legs. Don't have your legs there, which can be easier said than done, but the most most standard basic way to handle that is illustrisimo cross step. So I'm here, my opponent strikes at my leg, I do this. You literally move your leg. There's a point here where as I shift my weight back, all my weight is on my one leg, and then I almost fall back to where I started from. Right? And it works from the other leg too. So you don't have to move your upper body much, but you let your center of gravity drift back over your posted leg and get this one the fuck out of the way. And it's just for long enough to not get hit, and then you can come back. So coming out, right? Tying this combination in, imagine, so when you strike to the legs, you need to set up, number one, you need the strike, number two, and then you need to escape without getting hit. So most people will have some sort of fucking tomfoolery out here, and then they'll drop in and strike either this way or this way, and then either try and leap out as fast as they can or cover somehow on their way out as they come out, right? So if they have a good evolved setup motion for getting in there, that protects them, right? And then as they come out, they're either relying on their speed to get out or they're going to block. So that would protect them there. You can't be protected during the moment you're throwing the strike, unless you have double sticks or a shield or something. That's different. So during this portion of things, you're vulnerable. So here is where that round strike comes in, right? If you can see, as I pull my foot back, if someone were below me trying to strike me in the leg, I'd be able to get them right in the head. Right. So this combination would be maybe a check to the hand or a strike towards the head or whatever, and then drop right through with that slash, or I'm sorry, with that redondo, and then cut in with the slash. So your strike, 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 and then same thing on the backhand, strike, 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 strike. Yes. Question.
Which strike is this step happening on?
So you're chaining them together where you need to time your leg moving to when you're going to get hit. Because it does no good to be like, I always time it with this if the fucking guy stops for a second and then swings, because then you go and he hits you anyway. So that's kind of based off of the variable of your opponent. But I generally, when I train it, start moving my leg during this part. It's at its apex. I don't know. It's at the farthest point away as I'm throwing the round strike, and then I'm stepping back as I'm throwing the cut. So here, here, here. That's kind of part of why I'm trying to do it a little bit slowly so you guys can see it. But we're making it all sort of one thing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, Steve.
So a variation, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive and like pounce on the guy after, when he's going for the leg shot, Illustrissimo cross step on the jab, and then you're leaping back in with the redondo.
Okay. I like that. Where you're almost trying to bowl him over as he's standing up, right? So you're jab and then coming in like that.
Yep. That's a variation.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. That's
Then there's one more variation.
yeah.
And Sherilyn's really good with the geometry. He calls it like variation 5. So if you do it on the female triangle, right? Like let's say you're like fighting someone, not in a leg shot scenario, right? But let's say like you keep like meeting the force with someone. You're just fighting one of these guys.
Yeah.
And you know you're going to meet the force. So if you step out of the female triangle, now you have an angle. His stick is here, meaning his forearm is right there, right?
Right.
So if you're able to step out, you just take your, palm up, just palm down. You're slicing his arm right there because you're getting a little angle.
So palm up, palm down. So you're
But
cutting
yeah, I mean
here.
that's one thing. Like so, that's like one subtle point. So to get like power on this, like from this position, when you're palm up, you can be able to just like pull your arm down to get like you can hear the whip. Like it's not my body, it's just like so from this position when you jab, your hands pulling straight down. But don't just stop at the ground, like come back to your ear.
Oh, I just don't want to blast into this stuff.
Yeah. No, I got you. So that's one point. And then the other one is if you're doing it not against the leg shot, but if you want to chop the guy's forearm, if you step out at a 45 female triangle,
Yeah.
and you're making, your jab is meeting his stick. Then when you pull down, you're hitting his forearm right there.
Oh, so we're stepping. Out to the left, cutting down.
Yep.
Like that. I
And it
wonder-
works a lot, like timing wise. Like with the stick, it's not a big deal, right? It's not a
Right.
power shot, but with the blade,
Right.
like repeatedly, I get this,
I like that. I like that a lot. All right. It's a good one. All right. Where was I next here? So we got. All right. So now we're gonna go back into another 3-strike combination. So this one is a forehand, backhand redondo, forehand strike across. So this is pretty simple, right? Forehand, backhand redondo, diagonal strike across. Forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand, backhand, forehand, backhand, backhand, forehand, backhand, backhand, forehand. So these are all kind of fluid shots. We don't have that jabbing shot that we had with the last one. Then switch and do your complementary hand.
You learned Saint Foom, right?
Huh?
Saint Foom?
I'm familiar with the acronym. What about it?
Stay the fuck off of me. So
Yes.
it's that, but the last shot's a dodger. What you were just doing, but if you change it to a dodger.
What about? Oh, is
No,
that
I'm just saying as
is that
another
what that
variation.
combination is called?
What's that?
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, Saint Foom, stay the fuck off of me.
Yeah. Okay.
It's nice, right? Because the first shot you throw, you're getting your body rotated. The redondo cocks you back more, and then it's just boom with that nasty backhand,
Oh yeah.
And then you could do the same thing from the forehand side.
Where you cut backhand, forehand, forehand. I don't like that one. I don't like that one.
Yeah, I like the forehand version better.
Yeah. So how did I hit? So if you go on the other side, right? So that's a good segue into doing the other side. So if we do the other side where we cut from here first and then we throw the forehand diagonal. Don't throw the horizontal. So I like that. I like the feeling of throwing it with the dodger from the other side, right? When we do this to this to this, I like that. But when we come on this side, cutting like this to this, I don't really like this. This feels awkward,
Yes,
right? I prefer.
I agree with you. Like that tennis shot, like the
Yeah.
forehand horizontal. I can't tell you how many times in a fight on a forehand horizontal where I tweaked my shoulder.
I was gonna say I feel
Like,
in
I don't
danger
feel
with my
power on it.
shoulder and my elbow, like that.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yep.
I like either the bolo strike that's coming in at an angle where it's not meeting like this, or the proper diagonal down. So that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, I
So
agree with you.
we're out here, we're cutting our backhand, then we're cutting that redondo strike, then we're cutting from the number one angle, right? Backhand, redondo, number one. Backhand, redondo, number one. Right there, 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 there. Cut, cut, cut. Nice. Excellent. So that
Yeah, it's nice. They flow nicely together, back and forth. I like that.
Yeah, you can mix that one up with your footwork as well. All right. So my other combo on this one, right, is going to be throwing the round strike on the horizontal. So this is the one place where throwing the horizontal forehand can work, because it's not so much of like a power shot like what we would be doing in the last combination. This is more of like a knocking your opponent's weapon out of the way kind of move. So okay, yeah. So here we're attacking with the forehand, the forehand horizontal and whipping around the head. Then we're going to the forehand diagonal and the backhand horizontal. So the first shot would be like hitting the stick or hitting the weapon out of the way. The next one comes around on this angle, and then you return on the backhand horizontal, right? So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This first strike has like a whipping quality to it, like an Indiana Jones. This is very similar to the Gay Cowboy or Mark Denny combo number 1. Yeah. Anyway, so attack, attack, attack. Right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. So now comes the other side. So now we're going to do the backhand horizontal. Yeah, the backhand redondo to backhand diagonal to forehand diagonal. So same thing. We're not going to throw the forehand on the horizontal line. We're going to throw it on the diagonal line. So we're here. We're going to flick the backhand out, cut through, and cut, right? Backhand comes out, disrupts their stick, cut through on the backhand, cut through on the forehand. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Backhand horizontal, backhand diagonal, forehand diagonal. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I like them. You know, Matt, the first one you were showing,
Yeah.
like doing it sometimes, like a slight variation of the first one. Not to be a dick New Yorker, always interjecting, but just
No,
good pairing training.
I welcome it. I welcome you being a dick.
You're still a New Yorker. Well, an East Coaster.
Coast. Yeah. At heart, big time.
So like that first shot you were showing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you'll draw the roof block, right?
Yes.
But if you fake it or just do it like a smaller, like non-committing motion,
Yeah.
like Crafty will call it the Floretti bitch slap. So
Yeah.
it's like you come here and you kind of just do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, and that'll make the guy bite a lot of the time. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Just to make him like do this and like open up his block too much, just like and then smack him in the head. It was like similar combinations, different application of it,
I like it. I like it.
I like the second combo. Felt good.
off the backhand. Yeah, as you work through these more and more, you'll find that what does that even mean? Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes. As you work through these more and more, you'll find there's certain sides of the combinations. Like I set this up so that we had left side, right side, forehand, backhand, just for ease of structure. But you'll find like, oh, I like the backhand version of this combination better. I like the forehand combination of try V better, whatever. So they're not, not everything is created equal. Not everything works with everybody's body mechanic. There's always stuff that you'll find works better or worse depending just on who you are too. There's one other thing that I wanted to address that I talked about a little bit this morning, but I also I had a conversation with Zach the Tomahawk Man this afternoon, and it's something really mean to do to people from the clinch. So when you clinch in stick fighting, typically either it just happens because both of you come in at a stupid angle and you just bump into each other, or someone does it with purpose. And generally, if you're doing it with purpose, you're going to come behind a roof block. So from your typical, hold on. Your typical crash would be coming behind a flying roof block, right? So your weapon leads, you don't let your fingers drift past your weapon until you've made contact with your opponent. That's really important because otherwise you're gonna get your fingers smashed. It's gonna hurt like a motherfucker and you're gonna deserve it for being dumb. So you fling your weapon out there, crash behind the roof block. This hand comes underneath, wraps your opponent's arm and secures it, hopefully, right? So from here, you can strike. Once you've got your opponent by the arm and you can secure this, it becomes extremely hard for them to get their weapon out. If they want it back, they're either gonna have to drop it and like catch it with their other hand. Or one thing I've been successful with in this situation is reaching over the guy's back and grabbing it with my offhand. But so once you've got them locked like this, you have the ability to throw strikes here. This is where those jabs come in really handy because you can just strike and return, right? Option number 2 is this is where the thrusts come in, right? You're able to keep him pinned here so you know exactly where he is. He's going to be fighting to get his arm back. So he's going to be pulling himself into your thrusting. And that essentially they'll be impaling themselves on your weapon at that point. Unless, like I said, unless they drop their stick. But the other thing that I want to talk about is attacking the shins at this point. So it's not a very nice thing to do to somebody, but once you've got a hold of them here, start thwacking them in the shins, not the thigh so much. You can handle a couple of stick shots into your thigh and buttocks region pretty readily. Like it'll sting. It definitely will hurt, but rattling them off of someone's shin bones and ankle bones is a completely different kind of pain. And most likely it's going to cause them to fling their feet back. They're not going to be able to keep as good of a base. If you're really set in there and somebody hits you in the leg a couple of times, yeah, it fucking hurts getting it in the thigh. But if someone just zings a really hard one right into your shin bone, I mean, it's like I said, dick move, but it's going to cause some sort of reaction. You're not going to have a choice but to get your feet back. We talked about it in the context of the tomahawk. And in the context of particularly in the tomahawk that we're working with right now and the shape of it, and just thinking of how big of a mess it would make to hack into someone's shin with this thing from a
Is this the Empress that you're talking about?
Yeah.
I want to get one of those fucking things.
I've chopped into a bone, a piece of pork bone, and it took a big chunk out of the bone. So I don't think you'd want to take it directly in the shin at all. I think that would be really, really quite terrible. But doing it with the stick or sword is also really quite terrible to do to somebody, and can be a big advantage in the standing grapple. So anyway, Sherlyn, do you have something to say?
Going back to the thrusting.
That's what she's interested in.
Yes.
So usually I find when I'm in a clinch like this,
Yeah.
especially stick, my weapon is too big to get around their body.
Stick is too big.
Yeah.
Is there a better way to get it in there?
Well,
It's try V.
ah,
Vicks, Viagra, and Vaseline.
yes.
I'm
said,
serious though, because like I've encountered this before.
So
I'm only getting like weak shit to the like back.
generally what I would say in that case is open your body more and make the strike rounder. It could be a function of the length. It could be a function of the length of the stick and the length of your arm. Like it could be an actual biomechanical thing at that point where like
Some people choke up on it as well.
Well, that was what I was gonna say. You could choke up on it. The other way to do it from in close would be from like a bayonet grip and get them like that. But yeah, no, I mean with the arm locked, the only thing I could think of is to open my stance more to the outside. And strike
Or if
that
you
way.
kind of a dick move to do the
Punyo.
gathering, but if you come up and give it to them under the chin,
Yeah, you could ride that makes sense.
you got
Rising.
more room.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
here.
I wouldn't really do that in a gathering to someone. You know, it's kind of dickish.
Yeah,
to
thrusting somebody directly. Yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah. Put it in his mouth.
You're getting
Want my
way
big
off
black
topic.
weapon in his mouth? What? What?
Put your extra big stick in his mouth.
Oh God. Can't take you people anywhere. Yeah, Carlo, what you were saying about the Punyo. Punyo is another good attack from there because they can't go anywhere. You can, once you got them hooked in under this arm, you can just hammer fist and exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. You can't
Oh,
help it. It's
I'll tell you,
it's
like, from
compulsive.
fighting
I learned
experience-
early on. It's not something she can stop. It's like a Tourette's kind of situation.
From like fighting experience, right? Like
Yeah.
for people who grapple, like standing headlocks are like a big no-no. Because like you get someone in the standing headlock and they know grappling, they'll pick you up and fucking suplex you. So like
Maybe, or maybe you throw them on the ground. At that point, you need to have the underhook on the other side. Otherwise, like so that you can actually achieve Keisagatami, because you can
Yeah.
standing headlock and throw somebody. Ronda Rousey made an entire fucking career out of doing that.
I mean, she did, but it's risky. Like,
it is. Well, if the other person's a good grappler, once you hit the ground, if you don't knock the wind out of them, and like I said, get the underhook on the other side, they're
Yeah,
essentially on your back.
Yep.
The risk of getting suplexed, like, oh, well, that's on you, motherfucker. Like, who did you do it to?
so like for me, like basically what I was saying is when you're doing the puños, like for me, in my mind, when I fight, when I do the puños, I used to end up puñoing people, and then I would just end up like headlocking them.
Yeah.
And then big mistake, I did that to Catch Dog, and I was like, holy shit, I'm about to get suplexed right now.
Yeah. So one thing
And it's like I know standing headlocks are like something they don't want to do,
No.
but they like when you do the puño in the adrenal
thing I
state,
do
like I just
there-
kept ending up there. You know?
instead of continuing around, when you get to that point, lock the guy's head in. Make it like a
Yeah.
tie clinch with one hand.
Yep.
Because then you can knee, you could let go. At that point, once you've got them close like that, they're almost too close to use their stick effectively. You could let go and strike them with your other hand.
Yep.
Also, from there, once you get to here, you can start feeding it in for chokes and stuff, or you know, there's a bunch of material that comes from that sort of one.
John showed me some really good stuff.
Who's
'Cause
that?
He's big into grappling. John, who trains in my group.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times, like so say I'm doing the puño here. I don't want to end up here. If I come here on this side, like I'm gonna try to get my head on this side of his head, right?
Yeah.
But real nasty, like you could do this like empty hand. You push your head and pull in on his
Yeah.
neck, that pressure. But with the stick, holy shit, like from here or here, and
Yeah.
you have
And you
your
drive
head's
with
here,
your
you have
head.
your head on his neck,
Yeah.
and this is on his neck. Oh man, that's fucking nasty.
Yeah.
Just that
John's
pressure.
got a fucking
holding-
blockhead too. that wouldn't feel good. He's got
No,
a
it doesn't feel good.
goddamn cinder block sitting on his shoulders. That's funny. Yeah, so that's we went through kind of quick. That's about all I got for the for this evening. Does anybody have any questions? Anyone got anything for me? No. I'm gonna make this available upon the YouTube. If you have any of my previous links, that should get you in there now. That wasn't the case before.
Okay.
Otherwise, I can send you a new one. Just let me know. I need to upload this and my other ones from this morning. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know. If anybody comes up with anything between now and next week, let me know and I can address it. Otherwise, yeah.
Tribal.
Thank you. Tribal.
Actually, I do have a question real quick.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna go find some. There's some MMA school right by me, and
Okay.
the guy wants me to come by and do like a trial. I don't know why, but he wants to have a trial fight with me.
What?
And I thought
Oh,
he said friendly, but I they do Balintawak,
okay.
which is I think it's a lot of open hand or like very close quarter sort of
Yes.
deal.
Yeah.
Very close.
A
lot of trapping.
Mhm.
Can I elbow these people in the fucking face?
I
Like,
wouldn't.
I don't know if they're down with that.
I
No?
wouldn't. I wouldn't do it if you want to go back there.
Yeah.
I
Like,
would.
In clinching, that's just my instinct is like, if you're that close, I just want to clinch and
Blink.
ah.
Yeah.
push them away.
I've never done any of that like Chabad hand drill sort of shit before. So like
Yeah,
that's like
so
super
I would-
foreign to me.
I would start practicing this, like forehand strike push, like that, because they're gonna
Okay.
want to come in, they're gonna want to close on you. You're gonna want to hit them at range. So swing at them, and then as they close, get yourself a little space and hit them again, and then same thing on the backhand. Backhand, push them away, and forehand,
Okay, cool.
push them away.
And I agree with both you. Like, you know, at times you're gonna want to clinch too, but knowing like the Balintawak guys, that's kind of like a no-no for them. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
what exactly.
And,
I
like-
mean, if you were trying to beat the guy in a real fight, like
Yeah.
throw him on his head and kick him, like
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're trying to make friends, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah. Listen, I'll
I just
be
had it-
honest with you. Like that range, like the Hubud range and that really close stuff. Like when I did, I know Sano blend. Like we spent a lot of time there, and
Yeah.
then like I got out and I fought, and it's like that range happened so quickly.
Yeah.
Like you're clinched already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it took me like 15, 20 years just to like get like one checking hand in to do something. And it was only after I had like the balls to be able to deal with someone's like real power shot and like, you know, run in with the attacking block and then like do a quick check or something, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
They're
you're
all
gonna find
stuntmen
they're
sort
gonna
of
be doing a
deals.
lot of Abanico kind of stuff and locking and quick blocking and shit like that. Keep your range and your distance, use your length, and just like I said, hit them with number 1 and number 2 strikes and then push them away. When they close in, shove them and hit them.
Cool. I feel like Princess Sparkle Bottom's laughing at me. Is that what's going on here?
Might be.
Well, is that what the P is, princess?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
It is.
Cool.
You guys are talking about Hubad a lot, and you guys know what that means?
No.
No.
Means to strip.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm about. Get some.
You are in Miami.
Filipinos have been messing
Good
with
to
you.
know.
Ah,
Yo, you have no idea.
It's like the people who get like Chinese like signature tattoos, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I'm a cocksucker.
yeah.
Because I'm a tough guy. Yeah, okay.
That's what it means. Power. No, it means dick sucker, bro.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
All
guess,
right, well,
yeah,
cool,
to,
man.
like, strip, right? Like I guess in that range, they're trying to like strip your weapon or disarm your weapon.
Something like that. I heard it also means to untie, but like colloquial Tagalog, that means to strip, to get naked, or possibly
Wow.
to be naked.
So can I use this in a flirtatious way with like a Filipina chick? Like, can I like throw Chabad
I
in there?
wouldn't
Just like,
recommend it.
no. Okay.
You want to
Good.
get
I'm glad.
stabbed in your throat.
Valuable part of this lesson for me here.
How to get stabbed in the throat by a Filipino chick.
I'm already
That's
doing
true,
really good
Chabad.
with that.
Yeah.
Nice. Good.
Cool.
Good shit.
Well, awesome. Well, that's
Thank
all.
you, Matt.
That's all committed to the recording. So we'll have
Yay!
look back on. Thank you
X-rated
guys
version.
for coming and sharing part of Sunday night with me. I'm gonna go make some fried rice now.
Nice.
Nice.
Get at you guys later.
Good training with everyone. Just
No,
everyone.
thank you.
All right.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care. Thanks, man.